Unity and chemistry, our truth burns bright. We stand as one, exposing your lies tonight. No scam or false prophet can dim our light. Keep it unfiltered, let pride take flight.
Shut up, you dumb, you sound like a clue. Get out, stay clear of this room. We proud, we black, rich, and forever stay paid. They lies and killing spray from the soil they mislay. Their tales are sham, cooked up by scammers who toil. So shut up, chief X, you're a grifter, spoil. Your bohannon drivel like your soul. Coptic verse, their language is liturgical, not the rehearsed curse. While Ethiopian and Nubian cops and Cairo so merciful. Drop true surgical, leaving your myths pitiful.
You act like black folks ain't speaking Remy, give me your idiocy. Buzz D, can't study, can't even see. Bubble brother, hush up before I knock your sugar out. Don't twist our ancestors' lore, I'll butcher your clout.
Unity and chemistry, our truth burns bright. We stand as one, exposing your lies tonight. No scam or false prophet can dim our light. Keep it unfiltered, let pride take flight.
You claim you came from Baltimore, just more trash on display. I bet the faithful flock was up, dusting your ass away. Into that fat orange cat, you're dumber than a box of rocks. Pushing assimilation as politics that shock like cheating mock.
We spot you for a mile, your act just isn't slick. This is real knowledge, not your CUDA logical scholarship. If you scared, you should be watch as I spit. God's flame, no bars, no game. You're dumb when I put you to shame.
When your twisted lies crumble and your fake talk fades, our united voice echoes, truth never degrades. From the ashes of the sea, our spirit invades. In Kemet's name, your false crown forever cascades.
Ghazi aka Amir, the scam's a total disgrace. Spitting a whip on one jargon at a crooked scheme and pace. Your twist words confused, try to carve up a space. A fraud, your fake gospel body begin with no base. You try to fool slow raps with your bogus empty guys, but your clumsy act crumbles under truth piercing eyes. Kemet stands united, no room for your deceitful art. Step aside, false prophet, your lies won't break a heart.
Unity and chemistry, our truth burns bright. We stand as one, exposing your lies tonight. No scam or false prophet can dim our light. Keep it unfiltered, let pride take flight.
Unity and Kemet, our truth burns bright. We stand as one, exposing your lies tonight. No scam or false prophet can dim our light. Kemet, unfiltered, black pride takes flight.
We back. We back live. Making sure everything is good with the connection. But this is going to be an interesting show today. We're about to do something that hasn't been done before. Alright, I think we can hear everybody loud and clear. If you could, let me see who's in the building so far. I think I see like one person in the building, so we could just chill for a little bit. I may even turn this music up a little bit. Yeah, but how you doing? How you doing this evening? Oh, I am not hearing. Hold up a second. I am not hearing that. Say that again. The sound is not there. But you can hear me though. You hear all the words I'm saying? Yeah, that's interesting. Hold on a sec. I don't think that's it. Maybe try leaving and coming back in. We are traveling through space right now in the interwebs. We're about to talk about physics, science, technology, what that means. Maybe try coming. What it means in the modern world. We got two people in the building. Shit.
We here?
There you are. Yeah, I hear you. Loud and clear. Okay, so we got two people. It's a little bit of feedback. I don't know if you got it. You got it playing in the background?
No.
Okay.
You hear it on my end?
Yeah, I just hear a little bit of feedback, but it's not that bad. So we could just, get on into the topic. We're gonna talk about physics. What physics means from a black perspective, and like when you hear physics, that's literally everything that you could touch, in my mind. But what comes to mind like when you hear the word physics? Like how would you break down the word physics?
I think you just, to me, that's how I do it right there. Would you say, how would you break down the word physics? To me, physics is the breaking down of everything. So that's how I define it. Like, I would say in school, I will always have, I would say in college, we will always have arguments in the science field, like which science was like the most fundamental science. And so I would say physics is like, just the basis and understanding of the reality that we live in around us. Also, shout out to all the youth in here. I got some youth in my life as well. So, you may be hearing them back and forth today. But shout out to the youth.
No, definitely. So, like, one of the big things that, I've, having this conversation with people, particularly, those who deal with, like, spirituality versus atheism and whatnot, like, they always say that, everything that we can touch or quantify is real, and anything beyond that is not real. What do you think about that?
Bruh, what? But they believe in God. They breathe air. I'm pretty sure they even have some false hopes and stuff like that as well. But what I'm also saying is, like, for example, we have thoughts. Somebody grab that for me. You know what I'm saying? Grab your thoughts. Hey, somebody grab me the smell of a flower. I would even break down that, even like I said, I from my perspective in physics, we use all of the five senses, which can all be seen, all be perceived through physical means. But I would say, yeah, for me, my science, or even let's say my science, or the way I look at it, goes deeper than just those five senses. Especially when you start learning about the electromagnetic spectrum, you start learning about visible light. Once you start learning about, that matter is only 4% of the universe, and 96% of the universe is stuff that we can't even interact with, touch, see, smell, anything. Then yeah, I start to open up my reality of what actually science is and what that physics is, and what actually this reality is that we're living in. That's way more than just a physical reality, right? Something that you can knock on, touch, smell. I said, somebody grab your thoughts for me.
Yeah, and you're not just some, regular person off the side of the road. Like, just talk about some of the institutions that you've been to and just some of the scientists that you work with in the past.
Thank you. I started my undergrad institution I was at University of the Pacific out in Stockton, California. Wow. I would say, there was not too many notable professors, but one of the notable people I did work with out there was Michael Tubbs. You know what I'm saying, the mayor out there. And I definitely say I got some good insight on my blackness and what it means to be a black leader from there. And even meeting other brothers, I would even say like yourself. You know what I'm saying? Help get my Afrocentric ideology. And then from there, I then was able to, well, actually, while I was in college, still in undergrad at UOP, I had the opportunity to go to Italy, where I did research on quasars. And I worked at, I forgot the name of it, but it was like a physics institute out there that I thought it was, nothing. But then when I come back to the States, I then was able to go to an astronomy conference where at that conference I was able to meet a professor from Harvard. His name was John Asher Johnson, and he was starting up his how do I say it, Black Avengers. I would say he's like was like the Tony Stark, and he was gathering like the top black scientists to come to Harvard. And so from there, I was invited to come to Harvard and do research for about, I did it for like 3 summers. It was called the Benjamin Banneker Institute, which, like I said, at that time I didn't know who Benjamin Banneker was, so he put me on game just for being part of the name. If y'all don't know who Benjamin Banneker is, I'll definitely recommend y'all search him up. You know what I'm saying? Especially if y'all people of color, y'all want to know of our greatness. Benjamin Banneker was somebody who damn near created or recreated, because I don't know if we ever create anything, but recreated or reconstructed the modern day America. I'm saying that for all those who, all those conscious viewers that be viewing Controverse who know what America really is and what it really was. But so yeah, I was able to study at Harvard. There at Harvard, I don't know if any of you guys know, but Harvard is part of a college like town. Like Boston is a very college town, so it's Harvard is right there. 15 minutes away is MIT. You got beat Boston University, etc. So my time at Harvard, I'm also I was very outgoing. Let's say I don't care if like I learned from a thing from Michael Tubbs, like no matter what space that you're in, you always want to claim that space as your space. So when I got to Harvard, also if any of y'all watch that show How High, it shows where Method Man and Redman was able to go on the Ivy League campus. So I definitely was just trying to treat it like that. I went to Harvard, studied at Harvard, gave some presentations there. Also went to MIT, gave some presentations there. Also then for my master's program, I also did my master's program at Princeton University, where I worked with a professor named Jenny Green, who's a black hole expert. And when I say black hole expert family, I want y'all to think about black hole as not just a HOLE hole, but as a WHOLE, something like Kanji versus creating. I'll say what your platform is doing, brother, what you're going to see in, let's say, 5 to 10 years, is they're going to put out a post, right? Once you get past, I would say, this is my prediction, y'all. Hey, y'all heard it here first. My prediction is once you get past 20K subs, 20K to let's say in that range of 20K to 100K, they're gonna put in the public. They're gonna put that they discovered a new black hole, right? They're gonna say that there's a new black hole that just was discovered, and like I said, there's gonna be a lot of money that's put into this new black hole. But you got to think about it. This thing is outer space, and we can't even make it past the Van Allen belt or get to the moon. Why are they putting money into a black hole that we can't get? That's because the black hole is WHOLE, and that, like I said, the Controverse is getting a dense mass of black people that's understanding our consciousness and raising our level of consciousness to therefore that they want to stop it. But what the black hole says is nothing can stop us, not even light, or what I say is not even white supremacy. So like I said, that's my prediction here, that this is a black hole that's going to be created. And like I said, when you guys see a black hole and a new black hole be named within the next 5 to 10 years, understand and talk about Controverse. I said, there's no, like I said, I'm putting that out there, G.
So that's what's up. No, that's real. And it brings me to my next question, because you connected the mind with matter. You always hear people say mind over matter. Marxists talk about materialism versus idealism. But how would you break down like the mind versus matter from like a physics perspective?
Ooh, hell, mind versus matter?
Yeah, are they different? Are they different domains?
Okay, this reminds me of a conversation I was having with a very intelligent brother earlier this week. And all right, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna need some space and time to answer this question. So So yeah, to break this question down, right? You said the mind versus matter. I would say we first have to understand what matter is, and then we have to then understand what the mind is. And so I guess we can start with matter, right? Everybody understands matter is with everything, quote unquote everything, which everything is 4%. Remember that, family. Everything is made out of. And what makes up matter is atoms. And then if you keep going down, right, atoms is made out of electrons, protons, then you got the quarks, etc. Long story short, these are vibrating particles that vibrate at specific frequencies that then create matter, right? And now the next thing we need to talk about is the mind, or let's say thyself, right? And another thing I want to explain to the reality, right? We a lot of people in modern day, they live in a classical world where they believe in force. Let's say things. They look at the reality in terms of forces. They look at the reality in terms of these big masses instead of looking at the reality as everything is atoms and particles and electrons and stuff like that. Long story short, what I'm saying is that is a classical way of looking at it. If you guys come to the new way of looking at it, it's a quantum world where everything is waves, everything is frequency and vibration. And another thing that quantum mechanics state is when you observe a wave, it attenuates it, or it condenses that wave into, let's say, what we call matter. So now when you talk about mind versus matter, it is like, how does the mind interact with the matter, or how does myself interact with matter? And what we do is we are, if you quantify yourself as an observer, we are just observers of the matter and reality that's around us, which is all based off of what I just explained, all waves. The matter is all waves, and it's all traveling at the speed of light. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is traveling at the speed of quote unquote light. And so what the mind is when it perceives this matter, when it perceives this, when it observes this matter, what it's doing is it's slowing down this matter and condensing this matter into what we call this 3-dimensional reality. You know what I'm saying? So when we say mind versus matter, or mind over matter, the mind is the thing that perceives the matter. And right, when it perceives the matter, it then, let's say, formulates this like construct, like whether that's, oh, this is a lighter I'm seeing right now. Oh, this is a controller. But really what it is, if I'm not looking at it, it's really a bunch of waves that's, a bunch of atoms, a bunch of particles, electrons that's all vibrated together at a specific frequency, right? That's giving off this blue light, that's giving off this black thing, that's allowing me to feel the magnetic field, that's not allowing me to squeeze it, right? Because it's really not, nothing is stopping me from squeezing it other than the let's say the strong force of the molecules and electrons, which is, from my perception, is opposite of the magnetic force. So magnetic force or electric force. So long story short, what I'm saying is, like, when we say mind, it's like I said, if we say mind versus matter, that's because your mind, you don't even understand your mind, and you're trying to go against matter, right? You're fighting it. But once you understand your mind it perceives the matter, it condenses the matter, and then it creates, like literally, like as they say, your mind creates your reality. This is the process of how it happens. I said, I don't like a good example that I can give is like, if people drive cars, you have a car, like I said, let's say you get a new car. That new car you got, you probably never even thought you were gonna get it or whatever. Like, for example, I just got an Audi. I never thought I was gonna have an Audi or anything like that. I never even really paid attention to Audi Q5s. I never seen that. But once I got it, I started seeing a whole bunch of Audi Q5s. And like I said, it's been around me, it's been to me, but it was like, I never focused on it. It never really came into my reality. But then once I obtained it, I now start seeing them everywhere. You know what I'm saying? There's many examples that we do. Like, there's probably people that you probably been walking around your whole life, but you never knew that they were around you your whole life until you actually met them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so what I'm also just trying to say is that the reality that any one of us are living in, like I said, when we say mind versus matter, the reality that we're living in is the reality that we are observing, we are perceiving, right? If you always saying, oh, I'm always in drama, or always doing what does your Instagram and YouTube look like? Is your algorithm on drama? Because your algorithm on drama, that's what you're going to focus on. That's what you're going to bring into your reality. So just going back to your question, it's not really a mind versus matter. It's your mind is the vessel that in which you are able to understand and perceive this matter, right? Like I said, if we were able to do it, it'd be looking like a whole bunch of frequencies and waves. It'd be looking like a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying, confusion. But like I said, with our mind, we're able to condense it down and then perceive it as something.
That was a beautiful, beautiful response, and it just gets me thinking as you were talking about it. Like I was thinking to myself, is there a difference between observation versus consciousness and like being aware of something? And I would say those two things have to be the same. But then Doravel, he's commenting on magnetic versus electrical, and you mentioned strong force, and that immediately brought me back to the unified field. So like when it comes to that concept, do you see that as God or the creator, or how would you break down like the way that our mind works versus the existence of God and the creative process?
That's a good one. Um, well, so I'll start with my understanding of like this reality. Um, yeah, I'll start with my understanding of reality. Ask that question one more time.
So like from the mind and the matter, and we're the we have perception of it and
Yeah,
consciousness of it, right? But obviously there had to be an origin. So
yeah,
like
yeah,
would
yeah.
you say that God is the unified field, or is there something beyond that? How do you
Yeah.
break that?
Okay, so yeah, so I'll start with my breakdown of, let's say, this universe. Because yeah, when we say God, I feel like the thing about the English language is a lot of words are stacked on top of each other, right? Like we can say God and say like Thor, he's a god, but it's not God. You know what I'm saying? The God, the unified, ultimate, almighty, all. Because like I said, how many ever gods you have, they're always going to be an ultimate, like one overall. And so, like, just starting from that perception, I'm talking about the Almighty, Most High, powerful, like the original one, right? The original person. For me, my perception of like this God, let's say, is like it's everything. It's everything and nothing at the same time. Let's just quantify it as that. And what this reality is, from my perception, is that everything or nothing trying to get to know itself. And so it created let's say like a matrix. It created like something that it can perceive itself. But like I said, like and I feel like we are all like a piece of that one. Like we're that let's say that oneness, experiencing its wholeness, fullness, but in, let's say, a vessel that we call ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so yeah, like I said, like the unified, like when we talk about the unified field, like to me, those things I still don't think quantify the all of it, because we're only talking about things that we understand or perceive. Like I said, to even quantify, oh, the unified field, like to me, like anytime we try to quantify something, I feel like there's something more outside of it, right? Like even like when we try to quantify God, like, oh, okay, this God is a God, and who created the God? So like the thing that I'm talking about is unquantifiable. You can't even put like a box around it, because like once you do, then there's another box outside of it. You know what I'm saying? So like I wouldn't say there's no one word or there's no one thing that I can say at one time to be like, this is that.
Yeah.
Because really what that is what I'm talking about is that everybody said what that is at one time, at the same time, for all time. That is what that is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like me and you can't answer that. Like if even me and you came together, we can get all the answers we want. We need everybody from this. Like we got to do an integral derivative over all time, over all dimensions, over all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Over all perceptions, over all of that. Like so, it's so massive that, like I said, we can't quantify it. So did I answer
Yeah,
it?
and this comment kind of got into the direction where he said you're gonna dive into Gagut, God Almighty's Grand Unified Theorem, and that actually
Comment that.
Door of L.
Hey, they know their stuff, huh?
No, he's super conscious, like he's super into it, and that equation is really special because it describes the African way of articulating God as, you know, what Saint Augustine called esse ipsum substantious or
Uh-huh.
existence, like everything that is. Like if you exist, you are in God, right?
Period.
Right.
And but I would even say the opposite too, though. Like for me, like even if you don't quote unquote exist, because like what is it there? That gets deep. But yes, what you're saying.
Because is an imaginary number imaginary? No, it's just radial of the square root of a negative.
There you go.
Right.
Bust it down.
So there's different strings and if string theory, M theory, different dimensions,
Different things.
different planes of existence, and it really like could to play devil's advocate. Can you prove that atheism is real? There is no God using the modern understanding of physics. Can you prove that there is no God?
You say, can I prove?
Yeah.
that
Is
there
it possible using physics to prove that there is no God?
Let's just say hypothetically we could. I could prove that there is no God. That in itself to me is the proof that there is a God. Like, bro, that concept is stupid as shit, bro. I'm sorry. Like that, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Like I said, that idea is like I said, the fact like yeah. Like I said, let's use Goggin, right? Let's use Goggin and let's say the Goggin is God. It says God equals 0. So therefore, whether you're religious or you're atheist, y'all saying the same thing. Like I said, God is everything and nothing. So like, okay, you could say, oh, there is no God, but like you say, like the fact that you said there is no God, like you that's ident like you it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even make sense to say there's something. If it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But if you can quantify, if you can point to it and say that it doesn't exist, that means it does exist.
It exists in some way.
You get what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Whether it exists in at all. Like if there's somebody spending some time to try to, like I said, and you read any book or anything like that, to me that's the easiest trick that people can be able to debunk. Like nigga, like why? Like if there is no God, then what are we talking about? Why are we even having a conversation? Like just keep doing what the fuck you doing.
Yeah, no, for real. And I mean, I always go to the fact of matter. Like, there's really no evidence that matter is all that there is. And you said that matter is what? How much percentage of what we can?
4%.
4%. So 4%.
Out of the 100%.
So what is the other 96%?
Oh yeah. Well, shoot. I would say the closest thing or best thing that to me that I was able to see it be depicted was Wakanda. Black Panther. So this is my I'm gonna put it on publish it on Conjiverse, but this is my theory that maybe we can also go through because I have a presentation on this that I did at Princeton. But I proposed this to the scientific community. I would say at my time when I was thinking that they were the almighty people that can validate my science and my reality and what is real. But when I did believe that, I gave a presentation to them where I presented an alternative viewpoint of, or I'll say a supplemental viewpoint to their modern day science. And what I did was I quantified, I first let them know how their scientific method was limited to only the 5 senses, which based off of our science, we already know that matter is only 4%. And so there's like, if we're only using our 5 senses, there's a whole bunch of science that we're missing out on because we're only focused on these things. So, and what I did in my ideology that I use based off of, I said the biggest thing that they taught me in the institution was how to research, which meaning how to search for something that was already there. And so, like I said, I was not discovering something new. What I did was I went back to ancient Kemet. I went back to our ancestors, and I looked how they quantified the reality, right, with the ether. They believed in the mind, right? They really focus a lot on the mind and on the spirit. You know what I'm saying? The 42 laws of Ma'at very much talk about that. But in modern day, we don't, like in science, we only talk about physics, which is, like you said, the physical. And then they say it's something called dark matter, which surrounds all regular matter, and it creates this gravitational field around matter. And then they say there's something called dark energy, which they state is something that's separating all the matter apart. But yeah, like they have some weird explanations. But for me, when I saw the three aspects, the only thing that I can think of that's 3, especially when you have something physical, is the mind, body, and soul. And so for me, my theory is that dark matter is actually what I quantify as the mental realm. So 26% of the reality is the mental realm, where, like I say, where matter condenses, right? We already broke that down, right? How your mind perceives the matter and then it condenses down. So a dark matter field is just a mental consciousness, right? Like a galaxy is a mental consciousness that condenses all this matter and all this reality that then we call our Milky Way galaxy, that has the solar system, that has the shit that we have. That's what dark matter is. And then to me, what dark energy is if we're talking about energy, to me, like I said, if you look at what's the difference between a dead body and a live body, in my mind, is a spirit and the soul. It's no longer making it live, animating it. So therefore, once you take the soul out, that body is dead. And like I said, you can even still have, let's say, brain waves, dark matter, which dark matter can still be surrounding the physical body. But once you take the dark energy out, it's no longer there. So I quantify the dark energy as a spiritual realm. Like I said, that's my theory. Like I said, I would love to go against any scientist or any person in the community who wants to talk about it. Let's say debate about it. But yeah, I have like I said, off of that my theory, I've been able to create models of the reality that help me make predictions, help me understand the reality much more closer than just using, let's say, F equals ma equals mc squared, all those scientific things that they use.
No, definitely. Just the way that you were describing it, I was just thinking about college and the way that they compartmentalize information to
Bullshit.
design slaves in their plantation. And just like the fact that you talk about the periodic table, how like even the way that they describe elements is from a lockdown, and then they keep discovering new elements without knowing, as you said, we're limiting the discoveries off of our senses. There's an infinite amount of possibilities if you actually break the lockdown.
Yes.
So
This is
melanin,
definitely-
melanin. What is melanin to you from a physics perspective?
Well, outside of physics perspective, it's our gift. It's a gift and a blessing, I would say. From a physics perspective, okay. From the physics perspective, it's. I'm sorry. I gave y'all my definition of physics, right? With the thing. So when we say physics, y'all, we talk about Afrocentric physics. All right, because it's really hard for me to go back there because okay. Let me say if it in physics. Sorry, because there's so many ways I can go with it. Like just in simple physics terms, like I said, if I'm teaching high school, what I would break down melanin to is a photon. It's not a photon, but like a free energy device. That's how I'll quantify it as, because our melanin is able to take the light and convert it into vitamin D for us, right? Energy for us. It helps protect us from the sun. It also absorbs the sun. So yeah, like I said, if you could quantify it, like say through as a device, it would have to be a free energy device. But like I said, in my definition of physics, it will be our connector to the dark matter and dark energy. You know what I'm saying? It'll be the key to the universe. You know what I'm saying? The key to being able to tap in and really go into I would say like I said, this reality is perceived by observation of our mind and condensing it down, and it perceives this external reality. But if we want to go into the internal reality, into the inner world, the thing that gives us empathy, the thing that allows us to tap into other people's emotions from across the world, right? Another thing that about to start talking about is quantum mechanics, right? Quantum entanglement. I would say these melanin, once they start studying these physics concepts more and getting tapped in more, they'll start to understand the quantum effects that melanin also has as well. I say, and we can see these examples of one example I can give is I'm from the Bay, and like I said, we have, let's say, certain music that we have in the Bay Area. In modern day today, the people that sound like us in Detroit, and if you look at the living habits and stuff like that, like a lot of stuff is very similar. And like I said, we are connecting with each other through the music up through vast distances. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this, and then we can even probably go to somewhere in Ghana. Right? I was just out there in Ghana. I was like, dang, this feel like Oakland out here. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's various locations in which we're doing similar things, but we're not even talking to each other, but we're still receiving the same information. An ancient example of that is the pyramids. You know what I'm saying? Like you see pyramids and melanated, highly melanated. And when I mean melanated, I mean that's the eumelanin, right? That gives us the dark pigmentation.
There's different types of melanin.
For sure. So yeah, highly eumelanated and neural melanin. I'm pretty sure definitely all the melanin. You know what I'm saying? Places.
Yeah, when you said the battery, because I mean, I've noticed a lot of controversy surrounding melanin, in that people who attack, African-centered thinkers, Black scholars, accuse us of being pseudoscientific for our importance of melanin, but melanin has the ability to absorb the electromagnetic spectrum, similar to chlorophyll in plants. So can you talk about just that relationship, and I mean even just the relationship between the way we use melanin and the way plants, use melanin or use sunlight for their chlorophyll?
For sure. But before I do that, I want to break down just for the people, right? Like I said, when we're talking about value and importance, or when we say talking about importance, the way that, let's say, a capitalist system define importance is based off the value, right? And like I said, we can look at two things that the capitalist system has done to on the value of melanin. One, they have devalued the people who visibly show melanin out there, right? Like anything in any market, if you guys ever look at the market, anything that is being devalued by the government is then being taken by the government and being sold back to you at a higher value, right? Like it's bad to have war on oil, yet we're paying $5 for gas. Right, a lot of people are getting arrested for weed. Yet you go to the dispensary and that thing is expensive. Like I said, there may be things that, like that they say, is not valuable. But if you guys look at how much per gram melanin costs, you know what I'm saying, it's one of the most valuable things per gram. And like I said, when we synthesize anything such as melanin, chlorophyll, I said that thing become more valuable. So when you talk about the relationship between melanin and chlorophyll, like I explained, melanin is a device that that receives sunlight, converts that into energy. The same thing happens in chlorophyll. A great example of looking at the relationship between melanin and chlorophyll, I would say, is that movie that they depicted to us, which they call Avatar, with the blue people, right? Like how is their skin blue? How are they able to get this? And if you understand how melanin works, different oxygen levels, right? Our melanin is a molecule that is a carbon-based molecule. But like I said, this molecule structure, if you change the carbon base to silicon, or you change that, whatever that center is, you change that element, that then can also then change the density and the way that this element reflects light. So like I said, the configuration of melanin and the configuration of, let's say, these molecules, and what molecules are actually present or dominant in the center defines the color, the strength, and also what abilities, let's say, that thing can have. So our compound is carbon based in melanin, and then chlorophyll has a similar structure, but it has a different base that I can't name off the top of my head. Like I said, if anybody out there, any clippers or any YouTubers can pull up chlorophyll.
Is it not magnesium versus selenium, or am I getting that wrong?
You may be getting it right. Like I said, I don't have these things in front of me. So yeah, if you guys look up a chlorophyll molecule, look up a melanin molecule, like I said, this is just looking at it atomically or molecularly, you guys can be able to see some similar structures in there. But like I said, another way, yeah, that's just one way to look at it scientifically. But all we got to do is just observe, you know what I'm saying? Observe the plants, right? Observe the trees. The trees breathe in carbon dioxide, breathe out oxygen. So like I said, we have so much similarities to the plants and the trees and the nature. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's there for.
No, definitely. So there's a comment in the chat talking about the substantia nigra. And like, is that diminishing the brain when a person transitions, or is that the spirit? And it brings me to another question that I have for you. Like, what do you think about melanin's role in the so-called abiogenesis, or life from non-life? A lot of people have attacked that theory in mainstream, biology, by some scholar by the name of Arturo Solis Herrera, out of Mexico, wrote an article saying melanin holds a prominent role in the origin of abiogenesis. What do you think about that prospect?
Abiogenesis, you saying, is bringing life from non-life?
Yeah, life from non-life.
Okay, so I'll just ask another clarifying question, and maybe this is not only for you, but for all. So, would we quantify technology as a sense of, let's say, life or non-life?
I mean,
And
yeah,
as we push advanced, like maybe like AI.
you kind of could. I mean, that's a deep philosophical question. But like, if life is the vital force, which technically speaking, that could be anything. Like from an African perspective, all things have a vital force. But even from a modern perspective, technically speaking, AI is a digital life from machine learning headed to a virtual life. So I would say yes to that
Okay, because
question.
I was just saying, yeah. If I was thinking that was more of an easier yes, but let's just, like I said, if we just start from there, and then like I said, we just look at what I just explained, that the melanin, all technology is based off of that, brother. Like I said,
Yeah.
and I can, and like I said, not only is it based off of that, it comes from, bruh. Our phone that my phone I'm talking on to you right now came from Congo. I said, there's wars out there happening right now. Not only are we getting the ore out there, but they got blood in them too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got blood on all this stuff that we talking on. You know what I'm saying? I said we got blood, sweat, and tears. So I said, when we talking about technology and melanin, like I said, there's like I'm sorry, we gotta bust this down. I need y'all to really think about this for a second, y'all. Like I said, these is crystals, diamonds, and whatever the hell. Like I said, y'all can think that this is being done by machines or whatever. I don't know what y'all thinking, but these is being done by people like you and me,
Yeah.
little kids, all the stuff, digging with their hands into the ground, picking this stuff up with like Avatar, how they was having the people on Avatar. And they're destroying the land, they're destroying the people, the villages just nearby being destroyed, you know what I'm saying? People's getting harmed. Like I said, we believe in rituals and all the stuff like that. That sacrifices happening. You know what I'm saying? Whether y'all believe it or not, it's in y'all books, it's in the Bibles. Like I said, they say whether y'all believe it or not, it's happening. So therefore, it's something around that. You know what I'm saying? There's some type of energy. Now then, they're taking these things. Now they're putting heat in it. They're putting water in it. I said we believe in elements and all these different things. It's all these different things is happening, right? They're transferred from one place to another. Look, I'm barely scared to take some sand from Ghana to back over here because I'm like, you just don't take people's land, even if it's good to take it. That's
Yeah.
like where they do that at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I just say like that, like off of that fact right there, that process right there, and then now we have a device that now can communicate to you on. Like I said, if we really look at the whole ingredients and recipes that go into this, not just the components. Where do these components come from? What was the process of making it from from a rock to a computer?
Yeah.
And if we look at that whole process, they really they taking essence, they taking them, they taking and putting it into this.
Yeah.
You know?
So we can validate the importance of blackness, like geopolitically, especially with Congo, and it kind of speaks to the fact that like Congo right now, I have some videos about it on my channel. Like they want to invite Trump in to give him minerals, for exchange, for security. The United States government and military basically being in Congo and managing Congo. And, certain people who are on Rwanda side, Kagame side, say, no, Kagame has to exploit Congo so America can't, right? And there's a different conversation on both sides. But where do you see, like, black STEM professionals and technologists when it comes to changing the dynamic and the exploitation of resources in black lands for the global economy?
I'm sorry, I'm getting frustrated from these things that's happening in the world in reality. It's crazy work. I said, I just want to say, understand that no matter how strong we think they are, we stronger, family. I just want to say that. Also with any of these things that's happening, understand we had the power. You said, how do I feel about it? So yeah, like that's. I mean, this is what I'm saying is what I feel. I said I want us to remember. I said when we say come on down, like Donald Trump getting anything from anything out there, I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? If the reason is because we feel like we owe somebody something, it's crazy work. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, nobody. I don't think any country in Africa should be giving anything out externally to anybody. I actually think everybody in the world should be giving into Africa right now with their hands, with their heads down and their hands out. You know what I'm saying? Onto the continent. And like I said, not even on some like, oh, kiss my feet or anything. Like on some like, bro, if we really just put all like we really just built that land and like if we all came together, first of all, right? We all came together and built this. Like, bro, what would that do for the world? What would that do for I like to travel out there. I know the lighter skin like to travel out there as well. I see them out there having vacation.
Yeah.
So like I said, yeah, for me, what I see us needing to come together, brother, and put out action. And like I said, I believe that the steam field, it's kind of like our responsibility because not our responsibility, but we have some like we need to come together and kind of do that because like for example in the streets the people in the streets we already like we got music and stuff like that letting us know what's happening to us in the street. They already say the feds is after them. They already say cops is after them. They already say the CIA, everybody after them. We know that for sure. I would say people like you and myself, we are the first generation, right, that was able to like we were just able to go to school in what 1960s. Like so we just got into school. Like I said, we're part of the first generation that's going to college and excelling in these ways, right? Our other parents they didn't able to do it, but they went to school and then came back type shit. Or for the most part, you know what I'm saying, came back to the community. But now we're going out and being hired, right, to all these different places and actually seeing this stuff firsthand. Like I said, my experience in the institutions, looking at these places, it was great to be there because I had an imagination. I had a view that doing this science was something pure, something that's getting me closer to answers. They were all working together to do this thing. But when I'm seeing that I'm going to places that have gates and there's homeless people right outside, and the people that say they care about inclusion and diversity walk past a homeless person and not really saying nothing to them or addressing them, crazy work. When I'm starting to see that, like I said, they build these telescopes on native land and they're kicking the people out and destroying it for the sake of science, crazy work. When I'm learning that they built this device in what is it called, Antarctica, called an ice cube to discover supernova, and the first time they turned it on, it created an earthquake and destroyed damn near a whole church and killed a lot of people. I'm like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got lost in the sauce a little bit. Hold on. Oh yeah, the steam people. So yeah, I seen these things, right? And our people in the streets, they can hear about it, but I actually seen it. I actually was there, right? When I'm in these institutions, the movie Get Out came, and I'm like, dang, this stuff is talking directly to me. And like, I noticed it because, like I said, I'm at school with Princeton. I'm at school with a dude who's like 19 years old. He's getting his master's degree. He already graduated with his bachelor's, everything from Africa. And I asked him one question. You know what I'm saying? I said, hey, what do you want to do? What do you want to do after you graduate? He looked me dead in my eye. He said, bro, I want to work at Facebook. I'm like, what, bro? Like, after you down there the genius of the world. Like, do you know the dude at Facebook dropped out of the position you're in to create Facebook? And you want to go on, like, bro, you know that you could either do that or better. And no disrespect to like say starting off and doing X, Y, and Z, but like for me, like I say, when I asked him this question, it was all black. Like I said, I'm an astrophysicist. There was a black lawyer there. He was a computer science major. It was a black, bro. Every major you could think of in a prestigious institute, we was all there. And I'm trying to talk to people like, hey, let's come together, let's build a school, let's do this. But everybody want to work for some other institution. And I said, we're not even coming home and talking about these things. When I'm having these conversations with them, they weren't able to understand these things. So, long story short, when I say about the STEAM and us Africa is like being able to come together. Like I said, put our resources there. Like I said, I don't think they should be giving out anything to anybody. And they say like out of no disrespect, but out of the real airplane rule, like we got to help ourselves before we help anybody else, and that goes for all million people across the world.
No, that's definitely true. Definitely. And it's all about educating the youth. So, can you talk about some of the initiatives that you have just to spread knowledge and education about these different things to the next generation? Excuse me.
What do you say? Say that again. What do you have?
Can you talk about like some of the initiatives that you have to teach STEAM and science
Okay.
and technology to the next generation?
Yes, sir. So first of all, me and my good brother as well created an organization called Unite, where we're educating the youth, teaching them truth through STEAM, or I would say Afrocentric STEAM, very similar to what I was explaining to you before, but it's really just taking what like just taking the like in today's day. We a lot of our kids are being told things and spoken to things, but they need to be kinesthetic. They need to be moving with the learning. They need to be rapping with the learning. They need to
Yeah.
be dancing with the learning, right? They need to be able to take a science thing, see the history of it, and then be able to write an English paper on it. You know what I'm saying? They don't need to be in subjects or just one type of class. And so what we do right now, we're currently running a Saturday school that we do out here in Oakland, California, from 12 to 5 at Clinton Park, where we teach the kids. We're teaching them STEAM through hip hop. We're teaching about energy, frequency, and vibration. Because based off of everything, if y'all heard anything I said, everything I said, I could break down through energy, frequency, vibration. And so I've seen that as a core piece in all of the sciences. So that's something I want to teach them because they have an understanding of those three concepts. They'll be able to excel in math and science and anything in the engineering or STEAM fields. Even in art themselves, you know what I'm saying? It's dope to always be a vibe and be on a high frequency, have that great energy. All my artists out there. Um, so yeah, that's one initiative. We also have an initiative for the adults as well because that's another thing. A lot of the parents that we work with are business owners. We're also business owners ourselves. So we have an organization called Black on Broadway, where we're being able to, bring the community together, bring business owners together. We even, create family-friendly events for the youth to come out. Like I said this year is going to be on August 10th at the end of our summer camp. So hopefully we have some entrepreneurs and people, students that can do some performances that go into the Black on Broadway. But like I said, long story short, all these organizations really just to create the Black unity and the Black community. And then lastly, I would say another initiative that the Unite nonprofit is working on and partnered up with places like Ghana, Kenya, and Liberia is really going to start STEAM schools. Like I said, right now, this Saturday school that we're doing, we're going to record that and also offer it virtually. So for anybody, even if you're adult, we focus on ages 12 to 17, but all ages are welcome. So yeah, if anybody wants to join that, we will have a virtual link for you guys to join our virtual school, even on Saturdays. Like I said, adults can come too. Hopefully, hey, maybe we can probably host it live on Comgy, Brother G.
That's a definite possibility.
Yeah, maybe
Because
we
this
can
is
host a Saturday schools on live.
yeah.
I would love to do that. Let's host a Saturday school on live. And then what we're looking to do start STEM schools. What we're looking for is just donations of laptops or computers or any kind of devices that they can use to log on virtually to watch these classes virtually. So we're going to be teaching our kids in America. But like if you guys are like just how you guys are all over the world right now watching this live, we can be able to stream education and teach people to be self-sufficient where they're at, right? We teach DIY, right? We don't need these fancy devices to do things. Like I said, all we need is a clap and a beat, a voice, a mic. We don't need too many materials to be able to teach people this high-level stuff. And I'm pretty sure hopefully you guys were able to see that from here. Hope you guys were able to get a good takeaway and a good piece of what we do. But we do this with the youth, but we, bring out a language. We have more fun. We're definitely much more interactive. But like I said, this is for the adults to be able to pick out and be able to hit that subconscious mind.
That's what's up. That's really really great work that you're doing out in the Bay Area, and it's important that we keep everybody tapped in to what we have available for the community. You've been tuning into Comgyverse, and we've been just traveling through different dimensions, talking about Black physics, the black hole, the importance of unity, even from a geopolitical stance, and just like having a holistic African-centered analysis and reality as we're traveling through this Western contraption. That's my euphemistic way of referring to it. So you got anything left you want to leave the audience with before we hop off?
Yeah, I'm sending y'all peace, love, and light. Like I said, I understand that we all may be going through things internally right now. What I would say is, like I said, don't run from that. Don't run from that internal battle. Like I said, if we want anything, any betterment in the world, I would just quote Michael Jackson, you know what I'm saying, and just even our ancestors that always say to start with I. You know what I'm saying? We live in a you and I verse, right? The you and I right? If there's anything that you are upset with externally outside yourself, understand it's the you that's in I, or the I that's in you, or etc. However you want to look at it. And so, like I said, if we want to really defeat this beast, we got to defeat the beast within ourselves. So, like I said, let's go within. Nothing is without, family. And we are definitely here. We are outside, family. I'm sending peace, up, light.
Facts.
Go check out unitehella.org.
Unitehella.org. I'm gonna put it in the chat so people just know where to find you and your organization.
Yeah.
Unitehella.org.
We're starting a phone book network list. Like I said, a Pan-African conference soon, coming soon, family. Like I said, I'll be on here more to spread more goodness and news. Like I said, this is a great time just to tap in with Brother Kamji and just here getting the verse. So thank you for this opportunity, brother. I really appreciate you.
100%. Anytime you want to come on and do a show, you are welcome here. And that goes out to anybody who wants to be involved. Collaborative research, authenticity, African-centered consciousness. My channel is open for any and all who want to help us build.
Yes, sir.
So with
Sending
that,
people along to everybody. Make sure y'all donate to Super Chats and whatever else. Subscribe to Conjuverse. Donate to Conjuverse. You know what I'm saying? We definitely want to start doing some big things that you're seeing growing and we're showing. Let's get it.
Unity can make our truth burns bright. We stand as one, exposing your lies tonight. No scam or false prophet can dim our light. Keep it unfiltered, let pride takes flight.
Shut up, you dumb, you sound like a coon. Get out, stay clear of this room. We proud, we black, rich, and forever stay paid. They lies and killing spring from the soil they mislaid. Their tales are sham, cooked up by scammers who toil. So shut up, chief X, you're a grifter, spoiled. Your bohannon drivel like your soul. Coptic words, their language is liturgical, not the rehearsed curse. While Ethiopian and Nubian cops and Cairo so merciful. Drop troops surgical, leaving your myths pitiful.
You act like black folks ain't speaking Remy, give me your idiocy. Runs deep, can't study, can't even see me. Bubble brother, hush up before I knock your sugar out. Don't twist our ancestors' lore, I'll butcher your clout.
Unity can make our truth burns bright. We stand as one, exposing your lies tonight. No scam or false prophet can dim our light. Keep it unfiltered, let pride takes flight.
You claim you came from Baltimore, just more trash on display. I bet the faithful flock was up, dusting your ass away. Into that fat orange cat, you're dumber than a box of rocks. Pushing assimilation as politics that shock like cheap mock.
We spot you from a mile, your act just isn't slick. This is real knowledge, not your kuna logical scholarship.
If you scared, you should be watch as I spit. God's flame, no bars, no game. You're done when I put you to shame.
When your twisted lies crumble and your fake talk fades, our united voice echoes, truth never degrades. From the ashes of deceit, our spirit invades. In Kemet's name, your false crown forever cascades.
Ghazi aka Amir, the scams are total disgrace. The inner 111 jargon at a crooked scheme and pace. You twist words confused, try to carve up a space. A fraud, your fake gospel body begin with no base. You try to fool slow blacks with your bogus empty guys, but your clumsy act crumbles under truth piercing eyes. Kemet stands united, no room for your deceitful art. Step aside, false prophet, your lies won't break a heart.
Unity can make our truth burns bright. We stand as one, exposing your lies tonight. No scam or false prophet can dim our light. Keep it unfiltered, let pride takes flight.
Unity in Kemet, our truth burns bright. We stand as one, exposing your lies tonight.